Hi everyone, it's Nate and welcome back to Elevate with Nate, the place where we're all about learning, self-improvement and motivation, and where I discuss things that I've learned in the last 24 hours, and I encourage you lot to comment what you've learned in the last 24 hours. So today's episode is going to be a fitness one, and it will be a two-part episode. So in today's episode I'll be discussing my fitness journey for the last 15 years or so, and essentially just give you some tips, advice, what I do differently to help you all out on your journeys. And then in my second episode, which I'll release soon, I'll discuss right now my exact gym routine with the exact exercises, number of sets, number of reps and all that malarkey. So let's get stuck in. So for me, from a young age, I was always actually quite strong, at least for my strength to body weight ratio. So when I was 8 or 9 years old, I would go on to, let's say, a pull-up bar and just pull out 8 to 10 pull-ups. Or it might be in my house, in my parents' house in Spain, we'd have some stairs, and I would hang off the edge and do 8, 9, 10 pull-ups. So I always had that strength. But I was also like that. I was completely just super thin, just like the skinniest, lankiest kid out there. Especially when I got older and went through puberty, I went really tall, got to 6'3" and just weighed nothing. So I was strong, but had no mass on me. So my actual fitness journey began properly age 15. So that was in the UK in year 10. Because at the time, that was when we were allowed to start working out, at least at school. I know nowadays, in gyms you see kids, age 10 working out. And I think the rules have now changed and they're allowed to. But back when I was working out, I wasn't allowed. It was always 16. But at school, they allowed you age 14, 15. So I worked out in my school gym. So from the ages of 15 to 18, that's where I worked out. So in those 3 to 4 years, I learned a lot, because like many people probably, when I started out, I hadn't got a clue on what I was actually doing. So I went in there age 15, and also just for reference, this gym which I worked out in, it was simply just cables and machines. There were 0 free weights. Okay, in case you're not sure what free weights means, it means like dumbbells or anything actual, like a plate, an actual weight, as opposed to a machine. So it was a complete machine gym, which isn't optimal, I'd say, for making muscle, and we'll get to this later. But anyway, so that's what I had to work with. And for the first year or two, till I was age 17, I hadn't done any research. I had no research, I simply just winged it. And what I'll do is, it will be the same routine, the same exercise every single day, and it will be half an hour probably of just biceps. Just the complete rookie error. It was just half an hour at the start doing cable curls, bar with a handle. There might be one-handed, and then just variations and hammer curls with the rope. Every single different combination. And then I'll do a bit of chest press, a bit of lat pull downs, some shoulder press. But that was basically my whole routine. And you can probably guess 0 legs. And of course, my excuse was I had torn my hamstring back when I was 14, 15, but that got better after about 6 months. And then for the next 3 years, I was, I can't train legs, my hamstring, the usual. So that was my routine, which for anyone that knows about lifting, just so you aware, that's not how you do it. You don't just hit like biceps and that's that. But anyway, so I was training 4 times per week for those 3 years. And by the end of those 3 years, when I was 17, 18, what I would do is I would start watching a lot of YouTube videos. There's loads out there now, they're different back when I watched them, but just trying to get information, watch bodybuilders, read articles on this. So that's what I did. And I soon realised that most of the pros, what they do is they split up their routines, okay? You don't want to do just a everything day. That isn't going to really work for optimal basically building muscle. The only scenario where you might want to do that is if you can only go to the gym once a week, then sure, do everything. But that isn't going to get you the best gains possible. So at that point, what I worked out was that you want to do stuff, for example, like a push, pull, legs day. So that means on one day do all the pushing motions, so it could be your chest, your triceps, your shoulders. On the pull day, the next exercise, the next working out day, you could do some back work, some bicep work, etc. And of course, legs would be leg day. That's one combination. The one I personally did was the following. It was I think it was 4 days. You'd have 1 day's back and biceps, then you'd have chest and triceps, then you'd have a shoulder day by itself, and then a leg day. And within those 4 days, you can chuck in the abs or traps or forearms, other bits and bobs. That basically was the routine. And by the end of my school career there, when I was 18, I was in good shape. Now, sure, the work I did there would have helped. Of course, I was working out hard and training till failure, but it wasn't the optimal situation for making the most muscle. That I learned later on. Now, in those school years, what I will say is that my diet wasn't optimal. It wasn't horrendous, okay? What I was good at doing was always, I would never have a situation where I would every single day just eat cakes, crisps and ice cream, etc. I had self-discipline, but what would happen is, because I was eating the school canteen food, it would be basically just carbs. There would be lots of pasta. So I was trying to bulk up because I was naturally very skinny and had a very fast metabolism, but I wasn't hitting the protein, and that ultimately is the most important thing you must hit, the protein. So anyway, that's what happened. I gained a lot of size and weight, a lot due to just going through puberty and growing up, but also through working out. So that was my school years. So the next major stage of my life for working out, I would say, was the ages of 18 to 24. And in that period, we had a sub-period of 18 to roughly 21. So in that period, that was when I'd gone to university, living alone now and having more autonomy over what I do, where I work out, what I eat, etc. And this stage was probably my most intense stage for working out. That's where I was now working out 5 or 6 days a week. By the end of that period, even sometimes twice a day, which I don't recommend, but that's what I was doing. And more importantly, in that stage, I was then using gyms which had free weights, had dumbbells. And of course, now in that period, that's when I got, I'll say, probably the biggest jump in my size and strength and physique, because I was now training properly. As a result of having free weights, I can now train, barbell squats, barbell or dumbbell bench press. I could do my deadlifts and those things. So I was lifting better. But here's the thing to watch out for those new aspiring gym people, gym bros. It wasn't optimal, okay? The problem here was, with many of these kids nowadays, probably a lot worse than me, I was still obsessed. My whole life essentially was revolving around the next gym session. And more importantly, it wasn't a case of body dysmorphia, okay? A lot of people have that. That wasn't for me personally. I was never kind of looking at the mirror going, oh, I suck. I didn't have that. But here was a problem. It was a case of, if someone offered you a bit of cake, you would go, oh, if I ate that, that's it. I'll now lose all my physique and look horrendous. Was, of course, in reality, that's complete nonsense. You have a bit of cake here and there, you're going to be fine. At the time, I didn't realise that. On top of that, also scenarios where, if I was on vacation, I'll be working out in advance where's the nearest gym to the hotel I'm staying at, or does the hotel have a gym? These are all massive things for me, because I believe that if you take a week off the gym, that's it. You're going to turn from Captain America into pre-machine Captain America, weighing 40 pounds. So that's what I felt, that's what I thought, which wasn't great, for your mental, say, welfare, because you're constantly trying to, constantly stressed out about it. Where ultimately, again, with now life experience, I realised that was complete nonsense. And that's basically what I noticed around age 21 to 24. So I was still working out, hard, but on those trips, to say to Spain or wherever I went, I'll take often even a month off working out and doing next to nothing. made some press ups here and there. And sure, you might not look as good as you did at the start. What I then noticed was when I got back into the gym, when I got back home, within a few weeks, it just comes back very, very quickly. And that's where there's something called muscle memory. If you've worked out and put the hard effort in to create that muscle, that's the hard bit, making it in the first place. If you start working out, your body essentially remembers it. So when you start working out again, your body goes, I remember that stuff. I need more muscle to lift that weight. And it comes back much quicker. So that's one thing really important for you all to know if you didn't already. You don't have to be religious and do it every single week of every single year. It's okay to take some time off. You're not going to lose everything that you've made. And actually on that point too, just be careful, because how your body looks can even change on the time of the day due to things like your glycogen levels and stores in your muscles, how much water you drank, etc. So what I find personally is when I do a big workout and work out loads, my muscles, they get a pump, let's say. So I'm looking good, looking great, and that lasts for a few days. But if I didn't start working out, that pump's now faded. Whereas I look in the mirror and go, damn, I'm looking so much smaller because I haven't worked out. No, it's probably not that. It's probably because your pump's gone. Perhaps the sugar levels in your muscles have gone down. It's fine. Do a workout, and of course, without fail, you're back to where you were beforehand. So don't freak out. Anyway, in that whole period between age of 18 to 24, I was doing the same routines. I might go from strength to more volume training, but more or less it was on point. It was the good stuff which all bodybuilders do. And I focused more on the diet. Here's another thing to mention to you guys now. Before the holidays in summer, when I was 19, 20, 21, I'd want to look good, okay? Especially at that age. And I would try some different diets. And you had one such as keto diet. You had carb cycling. I won't go into much detail, but I think keto basically was where you couldn't eat any either fat or carb. I think no carbs, I think just fats and proteins. And carb cycling was you'd have one day you'd have next to no carbohydrates, and next day a bit, next day quite a lot, and you keep cycling it. It was no life. For those of you who are thinking, I'm going to go on some keto diets, some carb cycling diets, or any other fad, don't do it, in my opinion. It's a short-term gain thing. It's not sustainable. It's actually very, very hard to try and eat with those diets, because most of the things you want to eat have carbs in it, or have fat in it, etc. So it wasn't a sustainable thing. And for me, it's all about sustainable eating. You don't go down a route of trying to do a tough diet and then it fails. So don't do that. And I'll touch very soon what I felt was the actual best way of losing weight, at least for me. So just to finish off that period of 18 to 24, when I was about 22, 23, I was getting a bit bored of just the usual lifting now. It would have been like 7 years or so of lifting, 8 years. And I'd always wanted to do gymnastics and essentially do a backflip. I'd watch on MTV these videos on music videos of people doing backflips, and I thought that's awesome. And also doing like handstands and that kind of stuff. So I joined a club for 3 or 4 months, and that was great fun. So that was more bodyweight exercises, which I also highly recommend. It's just a nice feeling to be able to use your whole body for one exercise. You're doing a handstand that involves balance, skill and strength, or doing any kind of bar works and your ring works. Whereas all that happens here is, if you're just doing gym stuff, sure, you might get great at a squat or a deadlift or a bicep curl, but how is that applicable to real life? That's what I found. So I did that. But in that period, just by complete coincidence, I decided to eat a lot less. I think I did it by mistake for a few weeks, and then I thought, okay, I'll keep going, let's see what happens. And what I was doing was, I was just simply removing any snacking. So I would have my breakfast, my lunch, my dinner, and that was it. Just bear in mind that normally for my body, I would have about 4,000 calories per day. I would eat loads and just maintain lean body shape. That's just how I was at the time. But this time, I was going down to about, I reckon, 2,000. I don't recommend this. And it was, well, put it this way, I lost a lot of body weight, but also body fat percentage very quickly. Sure, I would have lost some muscle mass too, but what I made sure I did was the following. In those meals that I ate, I made sure that it was mostly protein, so have your protein shake, have my rice and tuna I used to always eat, have say chicken fajitas, mostly chicken, porridge in the morning, these kind of things. So I'll do that routine, and on top of that, you had to work out extra hard. So I was working out, well, at this point, actually probably a bit too much. I was working out often twice a day, doing my gymnastics in the morning. After work, I'll do my gym session, often 2 or 3 hours. Again, I don't recommend that. I was with a friend of mine and we enjoyed it. I could have done it in 1 hour. But that's what I'm doing. It's imperative, because my view was that if you're eating not many calories, your body wants to burn, wants to lose weight, okay? It needs to burn calories to live. But I thought, if you have smashed the muscle, you've had a big workout, your muscle then needs to grow, your body goes, well, this muscle needs, I need the protein, I need to create muscle. So instead, it will then burn the fat. I'm not sure that's complete scientific, I'll look into it, but that's what I felt and it worked for me. So the moral of the story there was that I don't think you need some keto diet, carb cycling. I just found that if you just reduce your calories, again, by definition of calories in versus calories out, which I discussed in a video a while back, I might link it here somewhere, that's how you're going to lose weight. But of course, you have to also work out, okay? If you simply just have a low calories, it might be optimal. Workout 2 will help you out even more. Because if not, you might either not lose enough weight, or you're going to lose weight and lose muscle, and then be just, again, a bag of bones. So we've got a few years left of my journey, and there's 2 main sections left now. So it was age, I would say, 24 to 26. And that happened roughly around the COVID period. And actually in this period of time, it was straight after my leanness, my gymnastics physique, I worked out 0, not at all. I stopped working out because I couldn't initially with the rules, and then I think I needed a break from it, from so many years of lifting. And what's like controversial, what I'm going to say now, was that you always hear from people that, you've got to, do exercise because it makes you more energetic, so often they say, gives you energy. In my opinion, there's definitely more pros and cons to working out, okay? And you definitely should, for health reasons, for self-confidence, and many more. That's why I advocate working out, hence why I'm talking about it in these videos. But what I will say is, on that one point about energy, I didn't personally get that. I found that when I was working out really hard, 5-6 times a week or less than that, I might have felt good inside, because I'm feeling strong, but I was tired. My brain was tired. I'll get back from the gym and just want to collapse and just chill out for a few hours. Whereas when I wasn't working out, and I was doing a lot of coding, I kind of got into that around the COVID time, I just found that my brain was more alert. It wasn't tired, but my body wasn't tired from working out. So I would sit there and go, okay, that's cool. That's a new bit of code. Let's do some more. When I was working out, I'd be sleepy, tired. That was simply my experience. Maybe that's just a me thing. If anyone has found that out themselves, then comment it in the section. That's what I found. So that's not saying that you shouldn't work out. It's simply have the right balance, okay? And that's the point I want to make here. That what I also found was that when I was in my 15 to 18 year old stage, or 18 to 20, 21, I made a lot of progress, okay? Of lifting more weights, getting bigger. But you will hit your natural limits. And I personally, I think I hit that around age 21. Because since then, I might have got a bit stronger, a bit bigger X, Y, and Z body parts. but nothing crazy, you know. And at that point, the amount of hours I'm putting in to working out, you're going, what's the point? And that's what I found. You know, I'll be going to the gym 5-6 times a week, and you go, I look identical to like 2 years ago, or at least very similar, because I hit my natty potential. So at that point, after my working out, I thought, okay, and now age kind of 26 or 27 to 29, I thought, I'm gonna get back into lifting because I like it. You know, at that point I was looking a bit flabby and looking a bit smaller, of course, not working out for 2 years. But I thought, this time I'm gonna do it the right way, in my opinion. And that was, I started working out 3 or 4 times a week, okay, an hour max, no more than that. And by doing that, I got the benefits of working out, okay. That was enough time per week to build the muscle up, get strong and big again, but it wasn't overkill. I had time to do my other hobbies. It wasn't a case of me doing 6 times a week and making this much more muscle. So that for me was the eye-opening moments. It was having the right balance. And what I would also start doing is I would try different time of the day slots, because for me personally, I find that if I could pick any time of day to work out, it was always around 3 p.m, after lunch, 2 meals in me. But with work, of course, that doesn't often work. So I actually started trying out the early morning time, so maybe 5:30, 6. And when I was younger, I tried it a few times, and I just thought, I can't, I'm so tired, it doesn't work. If that's you hearing this, thinking, yeah, like that's you too, all I would say is, give it a few days. I found personally, after a few days of doing this, in terms of waking up, your body gets used to it. And on top of that, when working out, again, your body gets used to it. And suddenly you're there, working out, you know, got some music on, and it feels like it's midday. And more importantly, it feels great that by 7 a.m, you're finished. You're done for the day of working out. You can do your day of work and then relax. It just worked quite well. And then finally, what I've been doing recently too is quite a lot more cardio, because even at my, let's say, my peak physique, when I was looking the most aesthetic, you know, when I was looking shredded, if you'd asked me to run literally 100 meters, I'll be out of breath and just collapse on the floor because I didn't know cardio. Whereas now I do, I can try and do 1 or 2 a week, a run, a cycle, and that is also important. I think that, by the way, is what makes you more energized. It's not the working out with the weights, it's the cardio. So yeah, so what I mentioned earlier, potentially it's the cardio which will give you more energy, but not the working out with weights. But ultimately, I think you just have to find a happy balance of enjoying your time working out and doing it for the benefits, but also not going too crazy. I personally now am at a bigger shape. I'm a lot less lean than I used to be, a lot higher body fat percentage, but I'm okay with that. It's a look that I don't mind. And all I would say is that still have a focus. I don't think it's good to be like, okay, I don't want to get too thin anymore, so I'm going to eat all the cakes in the house. No. Still have a goal. So my goal personally now is I want a flat stomach. I'm not saying 6-pack, just a flat stomach. And again, as ever, just be wary of what you eat. Still eat some nice cookies and cakes every now and then, but not every single day. And on top of that, me personally, I don't drink alcohol anymore, or very, very, occasionally. And that also really helps. For working out, and if you're hungover or just have alcohol in your system, it's not beneficial for making muscle. But secondly, I found that when I was drinking, say a few years ago, I'd have a few pints of beer every now and then. That went straight to my stomach. That was the worst thing, trust me. I had a little fat stomach there from drinking beers. So if you want to get slim, I recommend get off the alcohol. Anyway, that's all from this part 1 episode. Hopefully you enjoyed that little that timeline of my working out experience, and hopefully you took some tips from that. In the next episode, I'll be discussing right now what is my actual workout routine, the exact exercises, sets and reps. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give it a like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. And as ever, it's Nate. It's been great. Onwards and upwards.